All right, and I'm gonna turn it over to Patty now, who I think one thing that I love about your world is I feel like it captures a lot of personal dynamics really well. Like you heard me tell a tech bro who I should really have kept a professional relationship with, that he needed to go read about coyote shapeshifters to understand what was going on in business meetings. So I think how do you think about pulling dynamics you see in the world kind of into reality with by making them magical almost?
I've always been fascinated about why people do things. And I think that maybe my association with horses has let me see that a lot of human interaction is herd-based. You know, we establish who's in charge, we establish who needs to be listened to more, who needs more support, and we do all that with nonverbal cues. And I tell people always, and my in-laws laugh, that my werewolves are based on my in-laws. I grew up in a family of intellectuals who are very mild-mannered. Okay, my mother had an Irish temper, I will admit, but it was never directed, and it was never a power play. It was just frustration letting itself out. My husband's family are all super dominant type A people that are wound up really, really tight, and they will all agree with me. And so going to one of their, and he was the oldest of 7 kids. So going to their parties or going to the holidays were very interesting, in the best Chinese sense of the word. You just waited for what was going to happen, and they all coped because they loved each other very, very much, and because there was an established hierarchy with Mike's dad at the top. And his mom sharing that, and sometimes subtly being the one at the top, sometimes not so subtly being the one at the top too. And by being super polite, they had very good manners. So when my sister-in-law was reading my book, she called me up, she goes, "Patty, I think I was at that dinner." But people fascinate me, and the way in which some people can say things and it's totally offensive, and another person can say exactly the same thing and have it not be offensive at all. I had a boss once who used to make fun of you when you made a mistake, and he did it in such a way that it wasn't hurtful. It didn't make you put up your defenses. You know, when usually in a job and your boss comes out and says, "You did this wrong," your defenses come up and you immediately try to defend yourself. And the way he did it with humor took away all of that. And by golly, you never made that mistake again. It was really, really well done. He was a really good leader. And so I pay attention to those kinds of things. And then I bring it out and bring it back into the book. Because I think one of the things about having dangerous animals, which werewolves are, who live together in a pack, is there's some reason, there has to be something that keeps them from killing each other. And so I worked with that. And I remember I'm trying to remember who it was that said it the first time. I've heard it over and over again. All stories are about people. It doesn't matter if you're telling science fiction or cozy mysteries or horror, it's always about people. And that's where the focus of your story should be. And as long as you can keep that going, it doesn't matter if your people are vampires or werewolves or elves or cats or, rabbits, as in Watership Down, it's ultimately about people.